Good Friday evening, everybody. Welcome to the Philly Friday Frenzy here on the Rap Sports Network. I'm Big Al. What is going on, everybody? What kind of seemed like would have been a quiet Friday sports discussion, or maybe not too fresh news to talk about, has whirlwind into something completely different. And I had to bring on a friend. Guys, if you remember, if you were following me from the beginning, from the EOP days, over to here, the It's a Rap Sports Network. One of my good friends, one of the guys who always kept me in check at all times. Nobody knew how to break my stones better. Even then, Matty B doesn't have it. He's better than him. My man, Freddie Burns. I'm going to bring him on right now. Freddie, what is going on, bud?
What's up, Al? Happy to be back with you, man. Pretty pumped up.
Yeah, man.
We've been texting a little bit. I wanted to scratch the itch a few weeks ago, and I had some stuff I had to do, but I'm glad you asked me to come on.
I think it's absolutely great
nostalgic.
Right now. Yep, it's absolutely great timing right now because it's finally over. It felt like an eternity. It felt like they're picking a new pope in Philadelphia here. The OC has been found. Okay, the long and like. Talk about something that split the Eagles community, the Eagles fandom right down the middle. The conversation, and listen, I don't think either one side's right or wrong, but I do believe there's a lot of overreaction in some ways. Number one, the firing of Kevin Patullo. So for those who are new, Freddie, like I said, worked with me for many years at EOP. We have guest hosted many of shows together, and usually, like I said, he can break my stones and keep me in check when I get over my head a little bit sometimes. So, Kevin Patullo firing, was it the right thing to do in the Freddie Burns' eyes? Was it sacrificial lamb, as the term has been used? Let's start from there until and we'll talk about the new guy, Sean Mannion.
Sorry, I'm sharing right now. Back with Al. Sorry. Sean Mannion, let's start with your first question. He's definitely a sacrificial lamb. No doubt about it. And, I'll say that without going on a long, rant like I could do, is basically I just feel like he was unfairly criticized this year. And, it really opened my eyes when I went to the Chicago Bears game and I watched all the receivers wide open all over the field, and then I come to the radio and it's blaming Kevin Patullo when really it was Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was locked on the first or second read and, just didn't find the open guys and didn't get to the third or fourth guy. With that said, though, I also think it's Kevin Patullo's fault as well because, there was no creativity to the offense, and I do understand that, and there was no motion. And you go through all of the bad things about the offense, but it ultimately gets to one guy, and that's Nick Sirianni. That's the problem, and that is the issue with the offense. So, Kevin Patullo was a great mind at one time too, and he's basically running what Nick wants to be run. Kellen Moore does not run the same offense that he ran here in New Orleans. He runs a totally different offense. Because ultimately this comes down to Nick Sirianni, and then I got to back that up with the offensive line. Because people are like, we had a historic offense the year before. We had an historic rushing attack the year before. And the fact that the O-line was banged up and Tyler Steen stinks was a big part of it too. So if there's a year where you can just give it to everyone on the offense, this is the year. And I think Patullo was the fall guy.
So, and a lot of things you said there and a lot of things I agree with, and we're going to get into that in a moment. I want to say hi to everybody. Adam, Rob, Joe Hale, thank you for joining in. Michael Papernick with he has his points to take. We're going to get into it because I'm sure, there's going to be a lot of crossover here. I agree with you on the sense it is Nick Sirianni, but I actually, you know who I blame? I blame Howie Roseman a little bit in this case, and I'll tell you why.
I know you're going to tell me why, but Jesus Christ.
But my reason is I kind of refer to Nick Sirianni as a knuckleball pitcher, right? It isn't pretty. It's very unorthodox.
You give this take every Friday? You say this about Nick Sirianni, these people?
there's a different one, but I mean, I usually will defend Nick Sirianni. I always said, hey, let's put he's been in his playoffs 5 times. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. He won it once.
Knuckleball pitcher. All right.
Things like a knuckleball pitcher. It's not pretty. It's very unorthodox, but usually effective. But there is holes in the game, and the biggest hole in the game that I think anybody kind of knew going into this year. Everybody knew. I'm not saying kind of everybody. No, everybody knew this year. Nick can't call plays. Nick is not an X's and O's guy. He might be able to help scheme a game coming up during the week, work with the team, get everything together. But when it comes to play calling and X's and O's and in-game decisions, that's where Nick Sirianni has like an F grade in my eye. So the problem is you bring somebody in who has never done it before, who they kind of quickly got to it because they won the Super Bowl and a lot of the OC options were off the table. And they kind of probably figured, we don't need a super duper big name OC. We just give this guy a chance and Kevin Patullo. So it made some sense. And I understand that. A little hubris, if you ask me, in that sense. But at the same time, it's like if you're a guy who's never done it before, which we do have now, we're going to talk about that in a moment. If you're a guy who's never done it before, don't you need a head coach or somebody in that locker room who can back him up, kind of if he kind of gets stuck on something or doesn't know to work his way out, has some sort of experience calling offensive plays in the NFL? Because you can't do that with Nick Sirianni. And I'm a little surprised I'm not surprised, but I'm a little surprised that they brought in a guy like Sean Mannion who has never done it. I know he's this like young, up-and-coming phenom. People think he's the next, whatever. He might be the next Sean McVay, are the terms I've heard, or, Matt LaFleur or whatever. He had worked for forced to Green Bay. But that's why I blame management in this case. You know Nick Sirianni can't do this. There was no backup. You had a hope. Kevin Patullo could ascend to OC without really any hiccups. Even though you're driving a Ferrari, if you never drove stick before, it's going to be not an easy ride for you. And that's why I do blame a little bit on management for not being prepared. And I think they learned their lesson a little bit because not just the Sean Mannion, but they're calling him the Grizz, but Josh Grizzard as the passing game coordinator who does have OC talent. To call it that.
Experience. I mean, play calling last year. Yeah. I mean, the Bucs were not so hot. I know at one point, Baker looked like an MVP, and they were 6-2, and everything looked all right. But they had a free fall once defenses adjusted. I think they ranked bottom 10 in the league in rushing yards and points. So
and they did interview Grizzard as well as one of those many interviews that the Eagles had. We could definitely say they did their due diligence. But I believe they hedged their bets with Grizzard. I really do. I believe they knew that Nick Sirianni couldn't do it. And if there is a little learning curve of sorts with Mannion, Grizzard is a guy who has some experience, not a lot, but some experience.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Hey, I don't think you blame Haley. You maybe blame Haley and Jeff for letting Nick pick his guy again. Maybe that we could blame him for but I think Nick picked Patullo and Nick did not learn. What is the big thing? Learn from your mistakes and move on from that. And we learn. We're always learning. And you didn't learn, dude. You did the same exact thing you did with Brian Johnson. You left him out to dry. You didn't give him any adjustments. You didn't come in and take over the offense. I mean, geez, Dan Campbell even took over for his guy. You know what I mean? And he can't call plays, but he stepped in. They didn't make the playoffs, but their offense wasn't the problem every week. So I really put it as the end of the season gets there. I really put it on Nick and Hurts, both of them. I just think Kevin Patullo, he's this young guy. He gets one opportunity, and it's like you're gone. He was better off never even taking the job, go into another organization that gives you some time to develop. I mean, first-year guy. But, to your point now, Sean Mannion, not only are they hedging their bets, they are setting the stage to move on from Nick Sirianni in probably not 1, but 2-3 years. because I'll tell you this: if the offense looks outstanding under Sean Mannion, and it looks like LaFleur or McVay's type offenses, and this guy's going to get a head coaching job somewhere else, you think the Eagles are going to let him walk out the door?
33 years old.
They're going to do that again? No, They're not going to do that again. And how Nick doesn't see that is crazy to me as well.
Well, I mean, and I'm going to hit some of these comments here. Mike Papernick saying the Eagles team, as I have been saying, that the Eagles needed their Vic Fangio for the OC. So let me ask you this question. There's been a lot of things.
Where is that, though? Where is that? You're not going to find that.
I'm not. I was not worried about finding the Vic Fangio, a guy who's going to be here for a few years. Because let's be honest, the guys are
there. It's unavailable, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And when you have success, what happens? You move on. To find a guy who's good, really good at his job, like Vic Fangio, and also doesn't want to go be an OC or go be an HC somewhere, is going to be really impossible to find. And honestly, it's worked out in their favor so far. They've been in the Super Bowl, and every time it was with a guy who was hit one and done. You know, he was here, he got his feet wet, he had success, and he was gone. You know, now Shane Steichen gets a reprieve, I guess, with the situation with Danny Dimes. But Jonathan Gannon, he is now the DC in Green Bay, might I add. So, you know, a little bit of adjustment around the horn there. But, you know, I'm not worried about – I wasn't worried about getting a guy I knew was going to be here for 1 or 2 or 3 – like more than 1 year or 2 years. Like, would it be in a perfect world where you didn't have to worry about it? Like, looks like the Chiefs have Eric Bieniemy back now. But the problem is why isn't Eric Bieniemy getting a head coaching job? There is a reason behind a lot of those things. And the question is,
the offense stinks when he's the guy calling plays.
Yeah,
including UCLA.
Yeah. And that's my thing is like I just want who's the best for the job. And you know, maybe a young guy and listen, this guy's actually I think 14 years younger than Kevin Petullo was, which is kind of a little mind-blowing. 33 years old. He's got about 2 years of NFL experience. None of it with play calling.
Yeah, but he has a ton of experience as a veteran backup in this league. Like he's been on side. Like everyone keeps saying this 2-year experience thing. He played at the NFL level as a backup all over the league and has a ton of experience on the sideline. 9 years total. There you go. I actually thought it was 12, but so either way, that's a significant amount of time. And what does the backup quarterback do? They're with the headset on. They're a coach on the sideline. He has plenty of experience.
I'll give you for those who don't know anything about John Mannion. I made some bullet points. Like I said, he's 33 years old. He's definitely one of the youngest coordinators in the league. 2 years of NFL coaching experience. As I said, he worked all with the Packers. In 2024, he was promoted to QB coach in 2025. I don't know if you heard the funny story about how he got the job with the Packers. Mm-hmm. Apparently, he was getting a job with he was trying to get a job with the Bears, and he knew Matt LaFleur, and he said to Matt, like, can I do like a fake interview a faux interview with you? And he said, sure. And he came and he did the interview with him, and he kind of blew him away and said, screw this. I want to keep this guy for myself. And that's kind of how it went. But like you said, he has an extensive playing career as a backup quarterback, 9 years to be exact, Rams, Vikings, Seahawks. He was a standout college career in Oregon, and he has to set the Oregon school record. So, I mean, he, like you said, he knows what it's like. And recently, so maybe the connection can be there, you know, with Jalen, hopefully, to work with him to improve his.
Did you see Willis?
Yeah,
Willis.
There you go.
Did you see him come in? Did you see him come in? Like now, people were thinking about, hey, maybe we should move on from Love the way he was playing. You know, and I just photographic memory. I need to know. I think that's huge, especially from a coach's perspective. So, yeah, I don't know. I like the hire as far as like I don't know that it's going to be perfect for next year, but I think it is a long-term hire. And to Mike's point, you know, that Vic Fangio guy isn't out there, and he's not going to be out there because Frank Reich would be with that, or maybe Doug Peterson, but neither of them are like excellent play callers. You know what I mean? Like we had magic in a bottle with that squad, but once it, you know, we had some issues too. So I don't know. That Carson Wentz offense was very, very vanilla at the end.
Yeah, no, yeah, and here's Mike saying that with Mannion, I can guarantee that he does not have full autonomy with, and Sirianni will, I guess, got cut off. But this whole OC full autonomy thing, in my eyes, is ridiculous for the most part. I mean, I would like the OC, and in this case, I think in the case of the Philadelphia Eagles and Nick Sirianni's the head coach, as an OC, you're going to have some of the most autonomy because Nick doesn't know what to do. I think Nick knows that. I think part of him would like to be able to be more involved, but it's not his part of his game. He has success doing what he's done so far. I don't know why he would want to change it. But let me ask you this question.
He's a receivers coach, man. He's attention to detail, though. That's what I mean. I don't want to I kind of if someone hears the beginning of this, they're gonna be like, yeah, like the guy's been to 2 Super Bowls. Like there are positives to Nick Sirianni. The question is, why does the offense stink? And that's why I'm putting it on. But like he has, but at some point, your whole like rah-rah thing is gonna die down. Like you're gonna have players that are like, dude. Like A.J. Brown, like I'm a freaking stud wide receiver, and you can't get me the ball. You could barely get Devontae Smith the ball. He should have way more than 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
like.
So, but I did point out during the season, if you noticed, especially towards the second half of the season, when they made sure A.J. got the ball, they didn't win. When they spread the ball around,
but it wasn't because of him.
I'm not saying it was.
It wasn't because of them. It wasn't because of the offense.
It was the scheme, and it was the O-line. I'm going to tell you, the O-line was a big problem, and the injuries on the O-line was a big problem. And it's Mike saying just fire Sirianni, throw a fat check at Mike Tomlin. Eight. You want
to do it all? Mike Tomlin's like the same exact thing. What do we get Mike Tomlin for, Mike?
And this is my thing. Is the same thing with fire him for
Have
Harbaugh.
You seen the Steelers offense the last 10, 15 years?
Yeah. But it's the same thing as the Harbaugh situation. As soon as he was let go, fire him for Harbaugh. I'm like, has anybody seen Harbaugh's record? He hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2012. He's been a one other AFC championship, I think, not too long after that. He's been the divisional round a few times and knocked out or missed it with Lamar Jackson, who's people say one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL over the last decade or so. I think he's overrated, but that's beside the point. My point is, everything looks greener on the other side. And did you subscribe to any of the situation about this not being a place to come to want to coach, or people getting very upset about like we were not a sexy destination for coaching at this point?
I don't think. Yeah, I do subscribe to that. I don't think this is that great of an opportunity for someone that wants to. It's a very 50-50 thing, because if you come here, say you're Dable or you're McCarthy, let's say. And it doesn't work out, your career's kind of not done, but you're probably not going to get an OC job. Like now, the Eagles will fire you after 1 year, and you may get an OC job, but like where both of those guys are trying to go somewhere, they get the offense going. Maybe they don't have success year 1, but they stay around year 2, where with the Eagles, they're gone, So yeah. I do think that is something, and that's why they interviewed so many people. And then as the candidates got closer and closer, they're taking young guys that wouldn't have gotten this opportunity this quick. You know what I mean?
That's kind of been their MO, and let's be honest, it's worked out for them for the most part. Andy Reid was of course an unknown guy, and
this isn't the head coach, Al. This is the offensive coordinator.
Hold on. I mean, don't listen. Nick Sirianni was an unknown guy. Doug Peterson was an unknown guy.
They're head coaches.
Yeah, I get that, but it's also they barely did anything either. None of them did OC jobs. I think Doug Peterson was allowed to call a couple plays in the red zone under Andy Reid for his short tenure, but he didn't do anything as an OC. Shane Steichen was kind of a guy they wanted to get in. Jonathan Gannon was a DC that they really wanted. They thought he was a next young and up and coming thing, and I think that's how Nick Sirianni got the job, because he had a connection to Gannon to get him in here.
Gannon's a disciple of Fangio, and
they love him.
And I think Gannon gets a bad rap here. Like those defenses were good, like solid. He just didn't blitz, and neither does Fangio.
Yeah. The Vic Fangio on offense. I mean, someone with that Nick can't manipulate. I don't listen. I think maybe
I see that
Kevin Patullo could be manipulated. I don't think I think we kind of get into this a little too much. We really think there's like Nick sitting there in the background going, "No, you're my puppet." Like, I don't think it worked that way. Like, I listen.
Yeah, but I do think Nick's like, "Nah, we're not running motion," and Kellen Moore's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're not." And even that offense sucked. By the way, let's get into that too. That offense sucked until they met with. Just like they met with Doug Peterson, in 17, the O-line had to meet with the play caller and say, we need to run the football. Do you remember us going, why did we sign Saquon Barkley at 2-2? Why did we sign him? He doesn't get the ball. It took I feel like we forget this. Like, the offense sucked. And then they started running the football, and then everything opened up for everyone. And then we were able to have a passing offense that was good, but not. It wasn't like excellent. It wasn't like Hurts is like the only time this offense was excellent was under Shane Steichen from a passing side, and he too had to take over the reins from Nick in the first year, and then start running the ball, and then that next year, and then Nick was calling plays, and was it Nick who said, "Hey, I can't do this"? Hand the baton. That's what they say. Relinquished.
Yeah,
that's what they say. But either way, that's the only time. Then they started running the ball, and then the next year, Hurts looked like an MVP, and then they lost him, and then there was never a time period under Nick Sirianni outside of Shane Steichen that this passing game was just outstanding. You know, like, and I don't understand how we we keep saying this about these coordinators, like. Kellen Moore, great. I'm glad he ran the football. I'm glad he listened. But, like, it wasn't that crazy. Like, it wasn't like, oh, my God, they're throwing the ball over this field. You know what I mean? Like, it was get the ball to A.J. Brown. Well, take your shots. If Hurts got above 20, 25 passing attempts, it was a problem. And people get mad about this. But it worked. It was a good formula. But if we can't run the football, it ain't going to work. So – Go get maybe this offseason they go get an O-line again and get back to that.
Listen, the one thing I've been looking at is the draft and who's the O-line, sexy picks and who could be kind of in the region of the pick for the Eagles. I have a couple on my radar that I'm looking at, which I'm going to definitely get into more future episodes now that the Eagles are totally out and the OC's been found. But I think the one thing that gave Shane Steichen his, definitely put him over the top. And even Kellen Moore, it became a balance, right? I know we ran a lot more under Kellen Moore when once they figured out the whole Saquon Barkley because they didn't have to.
Out. But Al, let's just think about how crazy that is. You sign Saquon Barkley and you don't run the ball until the offensive line comes to you and has a friggin' meeting with you to tell you to do that. When me, you, or any Joe Schmo off the street Week 1 would have been like, we have Saquon Barkley. Let's run the football as much as we can. Like, why did it take that to happen?
Yeah, well, no, listen. And listen, they did it again this year, if you think about it. The O-line had to go to them and say, the play calls have to come in sooner. You saw that they were rushing them with the Chargers game. I remember that was one of the big times they were. I was sitting there pulling my hair like, what are they doing?
It was like Reed and McNabb. It was like, hey, let's go, get on the ball. Like we're down. Like have a sense of urgency.
Like how big is this playbook that you got to thumb through pages for 20 seconds? And I think that's where the young, inexperienced Kevin Petullo really came in, is because a real OC, an experienced real OC, has a game plan for the next few plays depending on how things play out. I always kind of it was like, remember those books we used to, the adventure books you would read when you were younger, and said, if you do this, turn to page 32. If you do this, turn to page 65. It's kind of like that's how an OC works. Like if this happens when we run this play, I'm going to run this next. If this happens, I'm going to be prepared to run this. Like that's what an experienced and good OC does. Like they know they're prepared a couple plays ahead of time, and that's how they get the plays in ahead, like quickly. And you saw that the offensive line could not diagnose what the defense was going to throw at them because they didn't get to the line with less than 3 seconds left. So there was times guys weren't even in their stance and ready to go, and it was frustrating, and I could see it. And even with the success at times that they did have this season, I mean, I don't call it a successful season coming off the Super Bowl, but you still made the playoffs or whatever. However you want to label it. Mike's sitting here saying John Harbaugh is head and shoulders a better HC than Nick Sirianni. If you think differently, you're delusional. Okay, all right, here. Why? Why is John Harbaugh a head and shoulders better HC? Right now, in 5 years.
I mean, Harbaugh only went to one Super Bowl?
Went to one Super Bowl. So Nick Sirianni's been to two already. Okay? He's had really good defenses.
Nick Sirianni has never missed the playoffs.
Never missed the playoffs. He's had Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco. He went from one to the other. So he's not like he had a down year with a bad quarterback. He's had some of the best defenses. He's had some great offensive weapons. Over the last couple of years, he's had King Henry toting the ball. Yet he's had less success.
Yeah, he wouldn't run. They wouldn't run. Well, I guess his mistake is like he loves stupid coordinators. He's got that idiot Reedness in him. Like I remember at one point he loved Marty Morningwed so much. He's obsessed with Todd Monken. Yeah, who now left him. But yeah, I mean, I think Harbaugh's a good coach, but I don't know.
He did the same thing Doug Peterson did. He just got very attached, and he was unwilling to bend. And they said, "Well, then we're done. We're going to move on with you." So John Harbaugh is kind of living by his name, but what has he done in the last 5 years that made you feel comfortable to saying he's a really good head coach? At one point, and he's had a long career. Tomlin has had a long career because he coached for Pittsburgh. They've had 5 head coaches in 50 years. I mean, that's just something they don't do. That's just an organizational thing. I get it, whatever. Maybe we pull the trigger a little faster than others do. I don't know. However you want to look at it. To sit here and tell me that it's delusional thing that John Harbaugh, what is you can grade a quarterback on, yards, passing yards, a little bit on wins, losses, all that kind of stuff.
Yards and passing yards?
No, I'm just like all the stats you want. What do you
QB rating, completion percentage? Yeah. Come on, Al. Give them a little more than yards, dude.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, what do you gauge a coach on? Wins and losses. Wins. And success of the team. And his team's had some success. But do you know what? His team couldn't get past a certain Patrick Mahomes. Nick Sirianni got past Patrick Mahomes.
He got past Brady once.
Huh?
He got past Brady.
Yeah. I mean, but my point is he just was.
Or was that Castle that year?
I don't know. Yeah, because it wasn't Brady.
Was it Castle that year?
Yeah, might have been. But John Harbaugh has a long tenured career with success in a Super Bowl. But him and Tomlin have the same time frame. Was it Tomlin 2010 when he had his Super Bowl? What has he done lately?
Let me do some work for Mike here. All right. 180 and 113 career, 13-11 in the postseason, 1 Super Bowl 2012, 2019 NFL Coach of the Year, 6 AFC North Division championships, 4 AFC championship appearances, most road playoff wins by a head coach.
Okay.
So, I mean, Nick, I think it's we're going to find out is more what it's going to be, because what happens with the New York Giants, we're going to see what happens. But let's move.
All right. Well, as we mentioned, Josh Gizzard is now Grizzard is now the passing game coordinator. As we said, he 1 year of OC under the belt last year with the Bucs. He was the passing game coordinator for them the year before in 2024. But what is Freddie Burns now looking with well, actually, number one is apparently, and I have to bring this up, and I don't know what you're subscribing to on this one, but Schefter did his weekly interview on 97.5, kind of hit it towards there's another ball dropping. The prevailing winds have been blowing towards a possible Vic Fangio retirement. Do you think this was just to get people talking, or do you think there's actually something coming up next week and within a week? And do you actually think Fangio is going to be retiring? I said, if anybody retires, maybe it'd be like they're going to announce this as their last year, not so much retire right this second. But what are your thoughts on the situation?
I can't see them letting Oh my God, the name's escaping me right now. The guy that left for Dallas,
Parker.
Parker, Christian Parker. I can't see them letting him get out the door if they had an inkling that Fangio is going to retire. So I don't know. What I'm hearing is a dome stadium might be the announcement, and
yes, I heard stadium is a conversation.
I don't think it's Fangio.
Do you think it's going to be in the same area, or they're going to build it somewhere else?
I don't know what they're going to do.
I know they said they bought Jetro. Jetro has been sold.
That's what I heard like 2 years ago. Yeah, then that's where it's going to be in Jetro, so down in there. But like, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole because it isn't true yet. So, but I'm an anti-dome guy, so it's going to I'm going to be so annoyed.
I don't care about the dome or no dome. Like, I really don't care. Preferably, you know what? I kind of do like the dome because it allows us to host a Super Bowl. It allows us to host other events.
Dude, NFC Championship, the friggin' Rams game, like 2 years, that doesn't happen. None of them games happen. Like the cold, the team coming here having to battle in the cold, and the fans outside. Now we just sit in our nice, cozy dome, a nice warm arena football. We'll have our arena football game here today. I don't want to waste time on this. But
you're believing it's something more about an announcement of some sort of stadium or something, not a retirement or anything. Listen, I think if anything, it's a retirement. I said I could see maybe Lane Johnson saying this is his last year. Like he's going to.
We know that wouldn't be a shock, but
it wouldn't be a shock. But
you're right.
I could see Schefter kind of making it try to be like doing what we're doing right now. It's the topic conversation. What's this eerie drop that he's going to have that he knows about, but he's not telling anybody. Rich Kotite could coach the Eagles last season and win the Super Bowl. Again, like I just think it's unfair.
That's crazy.
Right, you've gotten to like haterade moment, like you just don't like Sirianni, and that's fine. I'm not here to sell you on Sirianni, and I'm not going to
do it with Fred Barnett and Randall Cunningham. How can he do it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And here's my.
I get what he's saying because of how the talent. I don't think Rich Kotite could have done it, but I do agree with you, Mike, that this is a GM owner run organization, and that the talent on the field way supersedes the coaching staff, and to not be able to, they did just win the Super Bowl though, Mike, and it's hard to go 11-5 the year after. It's just the offense was so bad, and I understand the frustration there, but it's not like teams just go back to back every year. Like that's like not the norm. So like, you know, they did get to the playoffs. It's that game you almost felt like that was going to be a loss too. I just kind of had a feeling. I don't know, but. Kotite couldn't have. I don't know if Kotite could have done it at all.
This is my other favorite question from people, and Maddie has asked me this too. I think we do this on Sunday. What is Nick's job if he's not calling plays? Tell me, there's every coach in the league calls plays. Isn't that what an OC's for? I mean, they might help out. There's
plenty of managing coaches.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Mike Tomlin is one of those guys. You know, CEO, head coach, as they call them, or whatever the term they use.
Is it the Seahawks guy call plays?
I don't.
Myers? Nah, he's a defensive guy, isn't he?
But and you know what? The Titans just hired Saleh. Is Saleh going to call? And he might call some defense here and there, but is he going to call? Is he useless? But he got a DC.
He will call defense. So he probably does call defense. So I guess it's.
Is his DC useless then? Like my point is, you can't like. All right, the guy has success, but anybody could have done it. But the guy doesn't have success, it's his fault. Like, it's kind of BS in my eyes, to be honest with you. Like,
the issue is you're going to have constant turnover, though. That's like where like the annoyance comes in. Mike Tomlin managed, though. That's what he did. But and he is successful. He just didn't. I mean, he knew he won the one Super Bowl, but as soon as it was after Roethlisberger, it was just like 500. Right? Yeah, I agree, Moser.
Bump the dome. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is bump yes to the dome or bump no get rid of the dome? I don't know.
Yeah, I hope he means here.
Andy Reid calls the plays and has an OC. Exactly. So is his OC just useless? Does he not get any?
And hold on, Mike. How many years did it take though? Like he got fired from here after 15 years. Then he struggled with it, not struggled, choked just like he did here with Alex Smith. And then it wasn't until Patrick Mahomes that it finally clicked.
Yeah, that's a good point. But, and that's my thing is like, I never understood the complete hate for a guy who has brought us success. I mean, we went from a team who's never won a Super Bowl just, 7-8 years ago now, 8 years, I guess it is, to now having 3 Super Bowl appearances in that time frame and winning 2 of them. Like, and 2 of them, 2 out of the 3 of them on the backs of Nick Sirianni. He's been
which is why I call this an owner's GM franchise right now.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm not sitting there saying like he's the best thing since sliced bread, and I'm not sitting there telling you if he got a job somewhere, he would get a job if he was fired right away. There is definitely parts of Nick Sirianni that isn't there, but to sit here and tell me that he's just some sort of, if they would have hired anybody, they would have hired anybody. Like that's my point is like, why hire Nick Sirianni? Hire somebody else who probably would have done it for less. You know, if he's such a puppet, like. Again, I'm not here to defend Nick Sirianni, and is he my favorite person in the world? No. Do I think there's better coaches I would rather have out there? No. But guess what? There's a lot of coaches out there who have a lot of great talent on their team and very talented players and still don't get the success they need.
True.
So let's jump into the Sixers. As I don't talk as much about the Sixers alone because be honest, I watch them. I actually this
you don't
year,
know shit, Al. That's why.
No, hold on. This year I am taking the Sixers as a game at a time situation because I'm not falling into because I love watching VJ Edgecombe. I'm watching the young guys. It feels like the Sixers have finally kind of like all right.
It's not on this network. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drop the curse.
That's
there.
fine.
My fault.
I don't care. I'm gonna get fired. My point is. My point is,
you don't got AI set up now to beep me out now.
I'm AL. But like I'm glad that the Sixers have finally kind of said, all right, it's not the Joel Embiid show, even though he's had some success lately and his voice has been louder lately than we have heard him in a while. With the upcoming trade deadline, do the Sixers make a move of any like really precedence? I'm not saying I'm sure they could make some cheap moves, but do they make any moves? And of course, Joel Embiid is on them saying, "Don't sit on your wallet." Pretty much, don't luxury tax be damned. It's easy for the guy that they're paying hundreds of millions of dollars to do it, and that he don't have to pay for it. But he's saying luxury tax be damned. Do you think they follow that?
I think it'd be foolish for them to. I disagree with that, and I'll get into why, because it is definitely a different team, this structured as it is now. I don't like. I've said this before when we did the EOP shows. Every single time they have like some chemistry or some stuff going, they trade the whole team and try to go bring in someone, and it's just stupid. Like look at the Thunder, man. Like they added pieces, but they just built with their draft picks, and they got lucky on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but that was the one trade. So like that's you saw, and maybe that we can compare that to our Paul George signing. But build the guys you draft. They finally just draft people and let them go and develop. And like, let's just stick with that, dude. Now, if you can trade McCain and the first round pick how does that Joel on the court.
That's my
how
does that work?
The only way I think Giannis comes here is if Joel Embiid goes to Milwaukee, which some would argue to do that, and I can see that from a basketball sense perspective. But Giannis is a whiner too, man. We just see him from afar. Like he's always whining, dude. Like
there's always,
he pushed the ladder over. Yeah, I remember that. But like that guy, he's always whining too. And I know, like you see the highlights was like Duncan, but he's straight like misses shots and goes on cold streak. So like, you know, I think we're seeing a team that like just maybe add something. Like if you want to add a defensive guy. Maybe add a backup center, get rid of Drummond. Like Drummond probably isn't going to work out in the playoffs. I've said that even when he was here before. The pick and roll him off the floor. Bona, I know everyone looks at the stats and sees the blocks, but he's a foul machine. He's out of position a lot. But he does hustle and he's good energy, and he's definitely a guy to develop. I wouldn't want to move on from him, but I would just – the holes right now are the defense. The offense is pretty much rolling. We don't really have any clunkers offensively.
Yeah.
And I just think in playoff basketball, it's going to get, more intense. And I think our guards will guard. Like Tyrese Maxey's playing defense at a level we haven't seen yet. VJ Edgecombe, who I've loved, is like playing like a veteran. No ego. He's just awesome. He's clutch. To trade, some people say trade him and get Giannis here. Like I don't see the point in blowing up the chemistry they have. They're 27 and 21 now, maybe. They're a 5th seed as it stands. They may have moved up. Maybe they're 6th. But they're right in it. They're like within 3-4 games of the 2 seed. I think if there's a year to believe in them, it's now. Like look at Embiid. Like have you ever seen Embiid like boxing out? Like he's not a good rebounder. Like he's not. Well, he has players around him now too. Like I know everyone's like, oh, he always had players. Not really. Not where he wasn't the guy that he had to hold the whole load. I
think that's the big difference there. I think the Sixers and Joel and even Paul George have bought in, I should say, to the fact that it's not the Joel Embiid show.
But it still is, though, Al. He scores 30 points a night blinking.
I listen, but it doesn't have to be, is what I'm saying. But the problem is, I will agree with you. When we saw this when they played against Charlotte, was at the Monday game. I remember getting done shoveling. I'm just sitting there eating my.
They moved the game up to 3:00. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I know they Embiid and Paul George didn't play. Like, come on,
yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. I'm saying you need you need defensive help, especially center help, especially if you want to make any deep playoff run for the Sixers. That's where I agree. But again, I don't think you really just stick with the youth, because I did not expect to be at all invested or even care about watching a Sixers game at all this year. At all. I really didn't. And I sat there kind of feeling bad for Tyrese Maxey, feeling like we're just wasting away on his career. And, I'm like, okay, well, VJ Edgecombe might make me want to watch it. Let's see what Jared McCain does. And it was nice to see him kind of get his shot back the other night. I know he needed to see that the ball go through the basket a little bit. That's been kind of a little slump for him, a little slump buster for him that night. Sure. But I'm in agreement.
That night, 9 threes. Paul George that night too.
Yeah, and against the Bucks, of course. And my point is like I'm okay with them not making any moves, and I'm okay with seeing how this plays out. And I'm okay. Well, I think it was Rob who said this. Sixers are not moving past the second round. I'm actually, this first year, I'm okay with that to a point. Like, as long as the growth continues. And, Daryl Morey, for all the crap I gave him, because it always just feels like that's what scares me about the Giannis, possibilities. Because it's like, he's like a fiend. Like, ooh, we could get us another guy past his prime, and we could blow up the whole team to do it. Like, you can seem like they're holding them back. Like Jerry Jones trying to make a dumb move during the draft. Like they're holding them back like cattle. You know what I mean? Like that's what scares me. That's what scares me that he's going to do it.
And I would always defend him, except for that point that you just made on our other shows, because he drafts well. Like this guy traded for Kyle Lowry when he was GM of the Rockets, or assistant GM of the Rockets. I forget. Yeah, GM of the Rockets. Like he traded Rafer Alston at the time. I think the Rockets were in first place. He was the starting point guard. He traded for Kyle Lowry, who was averaging 2.7 points a game. People were like, "What the hell are you doing?" He knows what the hell he's doing. But to your point, he just gets star hungry. Look, every time he drafts players, they're good. Even the guys we moved on from, they go to other teams because Doc Rivers couldn't play them, which is bullcrap. Isaiah Joe just won a title. He's an instrumental piece knocking down threes for the whatever you call them, the friggin' Thunder. There's other guys. The guy Charlemagne. It's not Charlemagne. He's over there with the Champagny. Julian Champagny's over there with the Spurs, playing at a high level. These are all Sixers draft picks from Daryl Morey. Like he drafted VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain. Let's just keep that first round pick from the Clippers, and let's just draft another guy. Joel Embiid and Paul George can just age gracefully with this, and we can just have a chance for the next 5 years. Those two will be washed, and then we move on with all this youth. I just don't. Everyone's so quick to get Embiid out of here, get him out. Like you guys have never seen a player play like that at this level. And
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've always defended Joel for the most part up until the last year. I was one of those people. I just felt like he was a gaping hole that's going to keep this boat, from floating. I just felt like we were going to sink
because they wouldn't draft well. You have a point, but now he has players around him. Suddenly, he's like, okay, I'll pass. Yeah, I'll pass. I'll work on passing. He's working on getting rid of the ball quick. He's never been a good rebounder. He's never going to be a great rebounder at all. But offensively, he's trying to get back. You know what I mean? We're watching him coming into the play late. He's down low, boxing out. He had a 15 rebound triple double, a week ago. And then his passing, he's going to still make mistakes, guys. He turned it over. But, you forget the 5 assists he had that he never would have had in the past. Even that last play last night, you know what I mean? He sets a perfect pick, gets the ball, flips it right to Maxey. Who did he have before to give it to? Ben Simmons? The only time he had anyone was the J.J. Redick, Ersan Ilyasova year, and that year was awesome, but then he got hurt, and injuries is a problem with him too. But now we go to Maxey in the game on the line. We go to VJ. You can even get it to Paul George. It's not Joel Embiid, and I think that's the ultimate thing. Shaq isn't a guy that got the ball and dribbled down with the game on the line. You know what I mean? He's a Hall of Fame player. And we can win, and now that you have pieces around him, and I just hate the whole automatic hate on him.
Do you think? Let's read William here real quick before I ask this question. Hey guys, I went to the Sixers game, and I was so amazed how good Joel looks in the game. I haven't seen him this engaged, this happy in a long time. It's good to see you both. Well, it's also good to see you as well. There's a name I haven't heard in a while, but. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, I guess it's the first year I don't feel
William?
And kind of knock on wood for
Agree
a minute.
with you 100% too.
I don't feel like the fear of Joel falling apart or getting some orbital fracture number 17 or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If he gets hurt, it's kind of we gave it a shot, but you still, that's why I say get it back up center. But then his team still competes. And not to mention Quentin Grimes. And the other signings made, Tristan Watford and, Kelly Oubre. These guys are integral glue pieces that hustle and make good plays. We even had a 3-point shooter. Grimes shoots threes like Redick, man. And he drives to the net and plays some D. This team's so much funner to watch. And
you have Charles Bassey now.
I actually texted my boy. I'm like, the Charles Bassey era has returned, and then they lost by 50 to Charlotte. He probably didn't even play. I didn't watch the game, and I was like, get Charles Bassey out of here. I texted him right after, joking around. But
I remember I'm watching that game. I just shoveled my property, and then I went over to my parents, and I came home just in time to sit down, eat a sandwich, and my muscles, the fatigue. I'm like, I can't even move my arm right now to change this channel. And this is how bad they're playing. But so you feel that the sky's not the limit, but close to it, the future's bright. And do you believe that maybe seeing the NBA finals, especially with OKC winning it all, did that maybe change the Sixers? All right, we don't have to worry about slamming 2 or 3 superstars together.
They have them. They're here. Yeah. They're here. Tyrese Maxey's the superstar. He's starting in the All-Star game.
Sure.
We have them. Why are we playing let's just make a trade to make a trade? VJ Edgecombe will be on that level in 3 years. He's already there. He's Jimmy Butler. He's like Jimmy Butler with more bounce. And we're gonna make some of these trades. Just develop. We'll draft the rebounder next year. I think we have a point guard. He's starting the All-Star game for the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I was going to say the rebounder. I agree with center. A pure center would be nice to get, but I don't know.
They got rebound. Wofford. The second chance stuff does happen a lot. I agree with that, William.
3D maybe. I mean, Is there anybody you could see the Sixers going for in the trade that not a huge name, but a guy who could maybe make a difference? Either a guy who's maybe a little past their prime, people want to get, but he could still contribute, or a younger guy who just the team is backlogged with point guards and they want to, or centers or power forwards or 3-and-D guys, and they want to bring somebody in. Like, do you see anybody, or do you have any eyes on anything that you could see the Sixers maybe trying to, or wouldn't cost them an important name or anything like that?
I didn't look at the contract, so that would be a factor. But I was thinking about Yusuf Nurkic, and I was also Zach Edey. They're not going to move on from Edey. Never mind. I was looking at like high ranking like defensive players. Nurkic was ranked 12th in the league right now, defensive rating. So I don't know. I would go for a backup center. I'm trying to think of the other one that I was thinking of, but it's escaping me now. But I don't want to make any trades though. Like I want to like just do something subtle, keep our draft pick, and I don't think trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo means we win an NBA title. Like, do you think that? Does anyone think that?
I mean, listen, I think he brings excitement and that possibility because he's done it. And maybe Giannis needs a change in scenery as much as some other guys do. His time with the Bucks has run the course, but maybe the Bucks' time with him has run their course too, and they want to get him. And maybe looking at what we dealt with Joel Embiid, they were afraid that they're going to get to a point where he's still under contract and he's got a lot of money under his name, and he just starts to break down, or he's just not performing at the level that they're used to. And the Giannis show, especially in Milwaukee, has run its course, and maybe the change in scenery could be beneficial to him. Do I think it could help the Sixers kind of get over a hump? Sure. Do I say it's a guarantee? No. Ryan saying, I don't understand people being so desperate. Why are we seeing it with both the Flyers and the Sixers?
I mean, there's a guy
You there, bud?
I froze. Am I here?
You're good.
Yeah, you're cut out. All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Sixers aren't being desperate. The Flyers, we'll talk about them in a minute. I'm ready to trash them, but I think the fans are being desperate, but like I agree with you on is that what you mean, the fans? Yeah. I mean, if the Sixers don't make a stupid trade, I think they're being smart, and Morey's like, all right, let me see this through. So, and then as far as the Flyers go, I mean, they just need to freaking finally tank. Like, they won't it's freaking tank. It's so frustrating. The other teams tank, go get a superstar. We go, we're going to compete. Like, Couturier should have been gone last year with Lawton. Like, they all should have been gone, and we should have the young guys, and we should be getting a star player through the draft. So now all these assets that they've accumulated, what do they got for it? Like, I don't know.
Well,
they frustrate the heck out of me because it's like, all right, we get Tocchet. I love Zegras. Zegras, it's the funnest, and he's young, so that's not a bad move. That's a good trade. But like, I don't get it. Like, why we wouldn't like this? Crosby's going to retire, Malkin's going to retire, and the Penguins are going to tank, and they're going to go get a superstar again, and they're going to be good again, and we're going to be the Flyers. Oh, we're tough. We don't tank. Tank.
Well, they were kind of tanking, or
not really though. They didn't blow it up, dude. They half-assed it, Al. They keep guys. Like, just get like, oh, we'll trade Lawton, but we'll keep Couturier. We'll trade this guy, but we'll keep him. You know what I mean? Who's the other guy? I can't even think of the other. There's the other. No, they kept Konechny.
No, I know, but
well, how old's Konechny now?
Konechny? Ooh, that's a great question.
Because at the time when they were trading, I'm going 2 years back now. Like, I would have probably said no because they would have tanked that year, and then he would be the veteran now with a young cast of talent. But where's the young cast of talent? Mishkov sucks. All right, that's wrong. He doesn't stink, but he is not. He's not even close to stink. He's not even close to stink. That was a fan reaction. Yeah, but he's not what he's cracked up to be. He looks like a little meatball.
Yeah. Well, I think. Listen, I think the mental aspect of the game got to him. Remember, he came over here from Russia kind of quicker than expected, and I think I'm going to call it homesickness is kind of not what I want to say, but I think there has been a big mental change for him, and I think that's why he kind of slacked off on hockey a little bit in the offseason because he was kind of going through some stuff. And to move on from just for that one reason at 20 years old, that to me is wrong. But I think the biggest thing is, and it's always been, tell me if you heard this story before, the Flyers need a goalie. Like, it's the biggest problem. I'm looking right now. I'm looking at the last 4 games. They are 1 for 3 in the last 4 games. They had 2 hat tricks in two of the 4 games. One of those games they lost. They won 7-3 against a good Colorado Avalanche team, and they lost 4-0 to the Islanders, who they were jockeying for that third place spot at that point. And they needed that because, unfortunately, there's only going to probably be 3 teams taken from our division because of how good the other division's doing. And then they lost 5-3 to the Blue Jackets, even though Konechny did have a hat trick in that game. And then they just got walloped by the Boston Bruins. And they lost 6-3, 5-3. I mean, you're scoring 3 goals in a game and you're still losing by double that. That's the problem there. That, in my eyes, is the defense is an issue. We all knew that kind of a little bit going into the season. But the big problem in my eyes is the goalie situation. They got to let Vlad play, or they got to. I used to defend Urson. I thought he was a little bit better than people gave him credit for. But damn, was I wrong? Urson he's not even a really good backup at this point. When he's in there, he might as well just do empty net the whole time.
Yeah, I was kind of with you on him. I'm like, I didn't think he was going to be like a stud, but I thought he was like, this is a solid guy. Cut him some slack, but oh boy, and the defense has been like, I don't know.
Ryan's saying it's for the defense in front of the
defense. That's where I'm going. The one the other night, you see a save made and then a rebound, and it was an amazing save. And then rebound, and they put it right in because no one's. I don't know the hockey terminology. I never played hockey, but I would say boxing out is what my terminology would use. You getting a body on other guys in the crease there or in the area. It wasn't even the crease; it was even further back. But yeah, the defense has been awful, so I can't fully.
The team's frustrated. It's obvious. I think even Konechny has been one of the more outspoken guys. He says they've been surging. His offense has been surging in January. Expressed frustrations the other day, saying, "I'm tired of missing the playoffs," and I think he is feeling.
Who said that?
Konechny.
Yeah,
and I think he is feeling the same thing us fans have felt for years. Because me and you have said this numerous times over the years of working together that there is nothing like Flyers playoff hockey in Philadelphia. Like, it really is just draws so much energy. But it's been, 2010 was the last time we had any playoff hockey here in Philadelphia? Or no, maybe 12. I'm trying to remember exactly. Around that time.
It's
been, yeah. Oh, yeah, well, not in Philly,
the bubble.
That was the bubble. Yeah. So 2020. So, yeah. And I take that with a grain of salt on that one. But I'm just saying, basic hockey playing in Philadelphia, it's been a damn long time. I mean, 2010 was when they had that crazy run and with Boston going down 0-3 and then coming back and winning it, and of course not winning it all. But I agree, Rye, that the defense needs uptick, but the goalie is, and it continues to be the story. I'm 43 years old, Rye. I'm 43 years old, and I feel like for the most part of my life, that has been the conversation. At least the latter half of my life has been the conversation. And then when we do have a guy who has success, it isn't with the Flyers. You know what I mean? There is guys who've won Stanley Cups without us. I mean, one of the names they talked about trading for is, was it Alex Lyons? There's a guy that was just here not that long ago. And now they want him back. And then he's going to come back, and guess what he's going to do? He's going to suck. There's like some weird bubble speak of that goaltenders don't do well in Philly. It's like, can we please pay a little attention to that? Because I understand the defense plays, but I'm tired of hearing that. At one point, it has to be on the netminder.
Well, I don't know. Ryan has a point that they come here and then they stink. Like, you'll hear, this is funny. I get dropped off all this stuff that was in a storage bin that was mine from when I lived with my parents. I don't know, 20 years ago. Yeah, what am I, 41? So 21. I had to be around 21, and I open it up, and it's a bright orange Flyers, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is awesome. And I'm thinking like, oh, what's this going to be? And I open it up, and then I turn it around, and it says Brizgalov.
Yeah,
I'm like, folded it, and I put it back down.
I think they just stopped paying him recently too. Like that's how crazy that is.
But
I think he was getting paid up until recently.
That was a big move, right?
Yeah.
That was the right move. And then we get rid of Van Beesbrook, or not Van Beesbrook. That was another move. We get rid of Bobrovsky.
Bobrovsky, who, by the way, has won since he's left here a couple times.
That's what I'm saying, because the impatience of getting the goaltender here. But like, I don't fault them for that. Like, Brizgalov was good. Like, what? Like they were trying. But
like I said, I think they recently just stopped paying him. Like in the last few years. That's how crazy that one is. I agree with Al. The Flyers need a good goalie. I mean, listen. Two things can be right, is the old saying. Both me and Ryan could both be right. The defense in front of the goalie, but as well as the goalie themselves.
Me and Ryan align on that. It's definitely a half-assed, not a true rebuild. I agree. They didn't tank. They should have had Connor Bedard.
Should have.
They played games.
But
they thought they were going to maybe sign McDavid in the free agency, like the Oilers are going to let him walk. Get the heck out of here.
And on top of it, Sam Ersson and Rasmus again is now injured. They both left the Bruins and the Blue Jackets game with injuries, so they have the typical hockey lower body injury. I just love that. So anything from your hip to your toe is a lower body injury, by the way. So that means it's going to be Vlad, and then it's going to be, I think it's Rodrigo Abels. So they definitely need one, and maybe Alex Lyons comes back and he's not getting time. He's kind of stuck behind some guys.
Yeah, if they lose the last 3 games here, like, I mean,
I know.
Like, don't you have to just like trade Couturier? Like, let's just move on. And then, by the way, Couturier, what's he done here? Like, what's the big deal about him? Like, he's a baby. One, like. He gets the captain from the guy we just moved on from. What's the coach's name? Hall of Fame coach, probably.
I
don't know why he's escaping my name. I'm picturing his face, and it's crazy. I can't remember his name. But anyhow,
we complained about him enough. I shouldn't have known.
But anyhow, he benches him, and the guy pouts about it instead of being like, "Oh, you know what? I got to be better." Like and this attitude of this team, as with him as captain. There's a trend here. Like, it's give effort one night and then we fall off the other night. I would move on from him. Konechny's now starting to chirp.
Torts.
Yeah, Tortorella. John Tortorella. And then Couturier, I'm just bye. Like, see ya.
Couturier's 33 years old. And
but he should have got traded 2 years ago, Al. This is to the point me and Ryan are trying to say. Now we're not going to get – I mean, he was hurt. Wasn't he hurt, though? Maybe I'm overstepping on the 1 year. But, like, he should have been – like, it just should have – I just don't get it. They're, like, half in it. Like, let's try to make the playoffs, but then I don't know.
Are you – at this point, are you questioning Briere, Jonesy?
I'm not questioning them. I just think, like, I don't understand why they didn't just commit to it like really bad. Like, I think they unexpectedly won games with Torts, but like, why even sign Tortorella? Like, I guess the culture. I get it. They wouldn't bring that hard back, and then even the young guys learn that, and then follow that up with Tocchet. So I get that, but like.
Yeah, but it wouldn't bother me about Torts. Like what you just said, people wanted that hard-nosed, accountability type coach. But didn't they just have that before them with Alain Vigneault? Like, wasn't that like I felt like you're going from one guy to the next? Like, because
his message was done though.
But that was the same message though. Like he was,
but
guys.
They did do a pretty good overhaul. They just didn't fully do it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, but Torts is on a different level, Al.
No, I know.
Players hate playing for him.
I know. Well, that's why he doesn't work out long.
I mean, how long did it take us to get rid of the right wing that was awesome, all-star caliber? I think we traded him to Buffalo,
Giroux?
maybe the Blues.
No.
The Blues. Well, Giroux, they got rid of him, but like I can't think of, you know what I mean. But like, we sent him to the Blues, I'm pretty sure. And then there was all drama between him and him not liking Torts, apparently. But like, and then they both squashed it like publicly in the media. But I just
Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes. So like what were we doing there? Like what?
Well, I don't know what you're doing here, but what's going on here at the It's Rap Sports Network, real quick, I want to remind you guys there's plenty of stuff coming up this weekend. The best of the It's Rap Sports Network. So if you miss anything this week, don't worry. Matty B's got you covered, as well as the Flyers versus Kings post-game show covered by our boy Mikey Lauro coming up this Saturday, as well as Philly AM Sports with me and Mike Lauro. Hopefully, if the weather holds out well, I'll have Mike on with me. I had Matty B filling in with me. We got to talk to Jack Fritz on Sunday morning, as well as our boys over at the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight. So we got to talk to them about what's going on with their new coaching hiring. And, of course, the final word with Matty B returns at 9 p.m. So before we end up and close up here, because number one, it's been great having Freddie back on, and it seems like everybody's happy to come out and seeing guys who haven't talked to us or see the two of our faces on the same screen talking sports again next to each other. Haven't seen us for a while. But I'd be remiss if we didn't discuss the Phillies because, I love baseball.
What are we running late as usual?
Yeah, right. Hold on. Let me check with the producer. Yeah, we're good. Okay, good. Thanks. So he said we're okay.
Your son.
But, yeah, right. God forbid.
Your wife.
But my point is the Phillies. I just want to know, simple, point-blank question for you.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it.
Rob, you just don't know him well enough. What is your outlook for the 2026 Philadelphia Phillies?
How can I put this? They won 96 games last year. I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. I'm not as upset over Bichette as everyone else is. What I'm more, if you look at him and Boom's numbers, they are very similar. And I hate Boom in a sense that, like, I hate the baby act, but like if you put him in the 7 or 8 hole, he's a very good hitter and a very good 7-8 hole hitter. So like I'm frustrated that not only did they not go sign Bichette, they didn't bring back Ranger. They didn't bring back Bader. Bader infused, and I don't expect Bader to have the career the season he had here because that was like above his normal, the way he plays, average, I guess you would say. That was like the peak of his career as a hitter. It was here that little run, but like he infused energy in the lineup, and he just brought that to it. So unless Aiden Miller and Carl Crawford are going to Crawford will be, are going to be in the lineup every day. I just don't understand how you make the move. You let Bader go and you keep Marsh. Like, why don't we move on from Marsh and have Bader and Crawford? Like Marsh, like what are we doing here? Like, and then you sign a Dallas Garcia, who I do like, and he has some veteran pedigree, but like I would have rather had Bader than him. And now we're putting all our eggs in the basket of Painter, Luzardo, who had a good first half of the year and then was an absolute meltdown case every multiple games after that. Got it together in the playoffs. Love him, but are all my eggs in his basket? Aaron Nola, that contract's looking really bad.
Can I ask you a question while you're talking about that? Remember we talked about Embiid when he was playing for the Olympics. What are your thoughts about Aaron Nola going to play in the World Baseball Classic for Italy? Because, such a big, he's been living in Italy for so long.
That annoys me that it's Italy. If it was for USA, I'd be fine with it. Same thing I was good with Embiid doing it. Like, you get a chance to go win a gold medal. Come on, man.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think he should be playing for any team. Especially Joel Embiid. Well, Joel Embiid, we couldn't stay healthy. So you think adding more more basketball to his knees was a good idea? Do you think Aaron Nola, who's coming off statistically one of his worst seasons as a Philadelphia Philly after signing a major
it's not a good idea, but it's their life, dude. Like, we don't control
I get it's their life, but it's, the money that we pay to go see them or spend time to watch them and all that stuff, there's got to be something to be said about that's not important. It doesn't help us get closer to a championship. Do I not remind you of Trey Turner coming here the first year, playing in the World Baseball Classic, and then playing like crap the entire season for the most part?
I think it humbled. And I don't think the two are related, but I think it humbled Embiid to go in that All-Star game and be benched. And they brought him to guard one person, and that was Jokic. That's what he was used for, to shut down Jokic, which he did. And then outside of that, he didn't play. Like, he didn't really play that much, and I think that probably humbled him a bit because Steve Kerr, to point out flaws, probably pointed them out to him. But, I would go get a chance at a gold medal, especially when your management, like, the drama that was going on, like, you can't keep Harden here. You lie to Harden that you're going to give him a max deal and then come back on it. Like, him and Harden were working pretty well. I know Harden disappeared and we had that rough ending with the Celtics, but like, they were working out pretty good as a team. So like, if I'm Embiid, I'm like, oh, now he's gone. Now this, whatever. That's a whole other topic. Let's get to Noah. He's not Italian. He's not from Italy. That annoys me. That it ain't even nothing to do with the injury. It's just like, why, dude? Why aren't you focused on spring training coming up? You know what I mean? So
here's kind of what Mike's saying here, and I'll agree with Mike on this one, is you have the unknown of how healthy Zach Wheeler is going to be going into this season. I'll tell you anything in my experience with thoracic outlet surgery, it's not, coming back even from Tommy John surgery or a back surgery or knee surgery or a shoulder surgery. It's a lot different, and the could take a long time. And if he's 100%, and like you said, Luzardo could have been a flash in the pan. We'll find out. You got, as he's putting here, Walker's Walker. Maybe he'll be okay as a number 5. Painter, we don't even know what he's going to be. They have put all their eggs in that basket of Andrew Painter. So we got to hope he turns out to be something. I'm not going anything by his numbers from last.
Why does everyone say that, Al? I'm not going by his numbers last year. Why aren't we? Like, I don't understand this. Everyone keeps saying that.
Surgery. I mean, that was pretty much spring training for him. And
ain't this the second year off the Tommy John surgery?
No, this was this year. He came out. He didn't even start.
No. We got to Google this. But like, he played some before that, or at least he started rehabbing. Okay, then maybe that's fine. If I'm out of turn there, fine.
So he had right elbow in 20. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. It's 2023. Sidelining him for 2024 season. We returned to minor league action in 2025, but he didn't get back into full action because it doesn't give you it just says that, but doesn't say the dates. Let me get a timeline here. Gotta love AI. Began 2025 in the minor league season, carefully ramped up, starting with low pitch counts around 2 innings and increasing gradually. Progressed from single A Clearwater to triple A Lehigh Valley during May of 2025, hitting milestones at like 70-plus pitches.
All right. You answered my question. Okay. Breaking news on It's a Rap Sports Network. I admit I'm wrong to Al.
Yeah, right. It's not a first. It's not a first.
This is for me to admit it. It might be.
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta play this first because
I would have traded him this offseason or this last trade deadline because he's gonna be like Doug Drabeck. Nothing.
Anytime you hear that coughing, you mean the vampire himself has awakened from his slumber. Matty B here chiming in. What's the difference between getting hurt in the WBC than getting hurt in spring training? Remember, Hoskins blowing out his ACL the last spring training game of the season. I understand that. I'm not even talking about getting hurt, Matt. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about wear and tear where you get too fatigued to play later in the season and you go into a cold slump. That's what I'm worried about. I mean, maybe with Joel Embiid, I was more worried about injury, but I'm talking about the Phillies. Listen, they just signed a 5-year for Schwarber, $150 million, and he's a youngster, right? Am I wrong to think that him adding another, I mean, that was World Baseball Classic, 2-3 weeks. I mean, adding an extra 2-3 weeks of competitive baseball is not a really good idea. Painter's first season was 2025. first season back. Yeah, okay. Hey boys, Austin Hayes might return. Is that more?
Stop it. Please stop it.
Watching
what are you guys coming in at the end to just like break my balls and get me to flip out? Is that what's happening here, Mike and Matt?
The most important number for Painter 2025 was 118 pitched.
He was an all-star last year. He stinks.
The Phillies only have 2 known pitchers in Sanchez and Luzardo. After that, question marks Nola and Walker and Painter. The Phillies pitching staff after Sanchez and Luzardo is a lot of hope and a lot of ifs. And that's the thing is, in the end all be all, the success that the Phillies did have and over the last couple of years came from the backs of our starting pitching.
Sanchez, keep Sanchez go. I mean, Sanchez is unbelievable. So I mean, that's
single signing in Phillies history in my eyes. Like for the cost versus the return type situation, like one of the greatest like unknown signings. Like if you saw like 3 years ago, 4 years, I'm like, God, they're gonna Christopher Sanchez is gonna be an ace for us at one point. You'd be like, really, Al? Like I would be getting lambasted if I said that on the show 3-4 years prior to today.
Like Cy Young, it's more than even he's like a Cy Young candidate. You know what I mean? Like he's good. Okay, that's so if Painter works out, great. But it's
a big if. We don't know. Like he could be 100% healthy. It's just there's a ramping up, getting used to the amount of innings pitched and all that stuff. And on top of it, the speed of the game. I mean, it's AAA to MLB is a big jump. Matty and I
got sent down. I had to come back. Do we got time for all that stuff? Probably not. If it happened,
and that's why I'm like, I hate saying it. Like, am I gonna have the same outlook with the Sixers and the Flyers? Am I gonna do it with the Phillies now? Like, just take it one game at a time and just watch it for what it's worth and hope that these guys grow. Because, I mean, really, the hope is more on the horizon into next season. But the problem with next season comes with a potential lockout.
Signing Bader would have changed everything for me. Like I would have a different outlook. I'd be like, all right, we got some juice left here. I can't do Marsh anymore, dude. I just can't do Brandon Marsh anymore. Like I don't understand. Maybe he's going to be on the bench most of the year with Garcia. Hopefully, I don't understand. Like him and Bohm room together too. I feel like they probably just whine to each other. Every night.
And that's why I'm kind of over Bohm because I feel like he's like another Nick Castellanos, another whiny guy who, when he goes cold or when he gets in his feels, he just becomes useless. I mean, here's a question in Mike's statement here, something that me and Matty B have talked about. Should have the Phillies went for, because it costs the same amount of money, but the guys produces close to the same amount. And he's also about 3 years younger. Pete Alonso. Should the Phillies gone for Pete Alonso over Kyle Schwarber?
I don't like first basemen that can't field. I've watched it from Rico Brogna to Bryce Harper. I'll take Bryce all day long. He's the best fielding first baseman in the history of the Phillies outside of Rico Brogna. Reese, I just hate it. I hate shitty first basemen. So
I didn't think Ryan Howard was a good first baseman.
He's not a good fielder.
I'm just kidding.
You fucking around now. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
The big piece is right. He's my guy. Don't get me wrong. He's right here. But, yeah. I would have done it. I would have done it.
He won.
But it makes sense. I will say this. It does make sense. Except.
I kind of hope the Phillies take the Sixers route, and me and Matty B talked about this when we did kind of a wrap up to the season right before Thanksgiving. Looking towards the
year from Harper.
It's gonna be that's the thing is like, is the Harper train not coming true? Like, is he kind of a bust, or is it just not panning out like we were hoping? Like, because we were pretty much thought we were guaranteed a World Series once we signed Bryce Harper. Or is it going to be like the Sixers and Joel Embiid? Like, if you put a lot of the young guys around him, like, do they, give Otto Kemp more of some time playing? Does maybe he kind of get Bohm out of there, or not Bohm? Maybe Bohm, but more or less.
Yeah, who's batting cleanup, dude?
That lies a question, and that's a big question. And
get Harper some protection.
Got to be Kyle Schwarber. I'm sorry. If you want me to swallow the $150 million that he just signed Kyle Schwarber for at his age, it has to be Kyle.
Dude, it would have been perfect. It would have been Bader, Trey, Harper, Turner, or Bader, Trey, Harper, Schwarber. It would have been fine. Then you would have went real Muto.
He'd say, "How about Pete Rose? I can't with you guys."
I mean,
again, 107 years.
I mean, actually, Pete Rose, what was he here? 3 years. I guess I would have to say I don't know how he is as a fielder. All I know is his ability to hit and how much he hustled. I don't know his fielding because I was born in '85. So maybe you can comb back the gray goatee over there, Matty B, and the gray hairs, and enlighten us.
I mean, Pete Rose in the 1980 Phillies, all that stuff. We remember that. We weren't even like I said. We don't remember because we weren't born. I mean, so I think what Freddie meant was in the last, I'll say, 40 years, we really haven't had much success in that situation. But, like Harper hasn't had 100 RBIs since 2019. He's kind of been living off his Harper name. The whole "he's not a league" comment from Dombrowski. Thoughts?
I just think he's not the superstar MVP of the league, but he's a very good player, and I don't understand this thing in this city. Like when the person isn't a superstar, like we're just like he sucks, get out of here. Like it just frustrates me to no end, and it's like Paul George. I was like, get him out of here, and it's like, nah, he's actually playing great in the role he's in, and I don't care what he's getting paid, but like he's what Tobias Harris should have been, and there are times we're going to need him, and he's going to be able to step up and score 27 and drop 9 threes. He plays defense, he hustles, he does all these things, but because he has a big contract, we're done with him. So like Harper, oh well, like what was he going to say? No to the money? He's a very good player. He's an outstanding fielder. And, if he gets to that elite status, great. But let's give the guy some protection. Maybe he should get our lineup is real Muto and Boom, and they put Boom at cleanup. Like it's ridiculous. And then you get to the bottom, like, oh God, who are we playing?
And with Garcia, I really think
Ray or Jesus, am I already forgetting his name? The speedy center fielder
Rojas.
Yeah, Rojas. I can't remember said Ray. Rojas starting like he was playing in the bottom last year to start the season. Like this is like what we're talking about here. Like,
well, I mean, do the Phillies, like I said, do they go with the Sixers mentality? Maybe go more with the youth movement. Give guys maybe like I don't think Aiden Miller.
Where's Aiden Miller going to play? I right now I don't know where you fit him in. You know who needs to go? Bryson Stott. And that's why I like the Bichette thing because he could have played second too. But Bryson Stott is what is he? What does Bryson Stott do?
Yeah, and what Mike says too. I think to be honest with you, before they signed Kyle Schwarber, I really kind of thought I was on the board with like maybe to move on from Kyle. A, for the price it was going to cost to keep him around, but B, the biggest problem was the DH spot. And he clogs up the DH spot. Guys can't take a day off because he's not going to play left field if he plays more than 2-3 times a year tops, and he becomes a liability out there. So that was my other problem with Schwarber. And I said, if you want me to swallow a $150 million contract, he's got to be in the 4-hole. He's got to protect Harper, and then they're really banking on Garcia to be what he used to be. And if he's even close to it, like 80%, I'll take it all day for what we're paying him and for what he's going to be here for.
And Castellanos, like, I know as bad as he's playing, like, he's the only guy that showed up in the last 2 playoffs. Not the only guy, but one of the only guys to show up in the last 2 playoffs. Harper did, not last year, the year before. But, do we not recognize the clutchness of him? Like, are we going to be able to replace that? Like, in the play, like, not that it got us. I guess it didn't get us where we needed to go. But even though, I don't know. I guess it comes down to Brandon Marsh again to get him out of here. I just don't want to look at them. And if Bader was here, I would have been so much happier. And it's a fine contract, $10 million per year. Come on, man.
Well, I think if they knew that, he would have been signed already. To be honest with you.
How did I not know that? He wanted to be here. He said it was the greatest fan base he's ever been a part of ever. I don't know why I'm not there. That was his comments.
Cassie
They didn't want him.
Getting gunned down at third.
That's on the coaches. No, dude, that's on the manager, dude. How the hell do you run the wheel play with him there? And then B, how do you keep him in? You pinch run for him. Who got the second, though?
I really thought they were done with him that year. I thought they were done with Tomper this year. And I usually would defend Tomper. I mean, he's had success, but not total success. But he, from a regular season, he's had success with his team. But I really thought after that situation, after the way they handled the end of that Dodgers game, I really thought
that's another reason to be a little optimistic. We should have won that series. Like the Dodgers kept saying, "Hey, want it back? Hey, we'll put Kershaw in for 2 innings." He got almost killed, and we didn't get a run that inning. When they rolled him out the next inning, I'm like, "Oh my God, are they trying to give us this game?"
No, but I thought they were not worried about losing that game. They were not worried about losing that game. They're like, "Well, we'll take it again. We'll be okay. We got 2 more games to try to win after this. Let's not burn through all our pitchers and have to worry about that because that could cost us long run."
Yeah, but he got rid of 1 inning. They could have. I don't know. We should have won that series. I'm still so frustrated about that too.
Yeah, we should have won a lot of other series. That Mets series the year before still sits in my craw. The way not just was it a terrible loss, a no-show for most of the team. It was against the goddamn Mets. And
why bring Estevez in the 6th with a bases loaded situation?
Well, that was the part that I really thought after.
That was the first time I tweeted fire Topper. It was an emotional one because I don't know that I fully meant it.
But that was where I got really annoyed. That's that smartest man in the room situation where you just go against. The things that they've been doing for 162 games, and you flip the bullpen up on its head. You get your 9-hole guy pitching 9 or 6 or 7. Why would you? Why?
They did it this year too. Who did he pull? Who the hell did he pull for Ohtani? Ohtani couldn't hit anything against us.
Mm-hmm.
That was game 3.
That was.
No, we won game 3. Game 4.
Was it Luzardo? Is that when Luzardo was pitching? Towards. No.
Oh my God, I can't believe it might have been Sanchez.
No, it was Sanchez. Sanchez started.
Yeah. Like you pull him, and then we deplete the whole. He was having so much success. I don't know.
Well, I think the Phillies hedged their bets with bringing in Mattingly in case Rob gets fired. They come out and they have another clunker of a half a season. I think that's why Mattingly's here, to be honest with you, and I think he knows it. But Ian asked earlier.
Yeah, but they're not going to fire him. He's going to win regular season games. It's the clutch.
If they do, if he doesn't, if they come out and they're clunky, I can see them letting him go and moving on from him. He's asking, do you think that there's no signings because they're getting ready for the salary cap next year? If you're getting ready for a salary cap that may be looming, sign your guys now so you're not stuck by the salary cap. They're going to be grandfathered in. They can't. All right, well, you got to get rid of somebody. They're not going to do that. But
and that's why you signed Bader, dude. I'm so annoyed about the Bader thing. And it would have been the outfield would have been gold. But I'm excited about Chris.
Yeah, here we go. Durant came in the 7th in Game 4. Yes,
that
was. Yeah, I don't get it. Here's a guy who knows the 9th inning, who feels the 9th inning, and you change it up. That's been my problem with Rob. Rob, I'm sitting here defending you. You're getting 90 plus wins. Here you are during the regular season, and then we come to the playoffs, and you're just like, nah, we'll just do it completely different. It boggles my mind. And I'm just going to love baseball. I always love baseball. I've watched some bad baseball over my lifetime, mainly the mid to late 90s into the early 2000s.
The 2012 to 2022.
And then, of course,
that's what I want to say to some people, pump the brakes here. I'd rather do this than what baseball. Dude, we were having shows about is baseball gone in this town? Because even this team was on a little bit of a run and no one was going in 2021, I'd say, or early 2022 when they went on the run after they fired Girardi. No one believed Like, we stumbled into that playoffs. Everyone forgets that. Like, we almost didn't make the playoffs.
I think
we're one ninth inning comeback against the Cardinals from it not happening at all.
Not even happening. Yeah. No, I mean, it was one hit. Harper not just propelled this team up until, towards the end. And honestly,
it was it was Segura.
Segura?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought Harper hit that. But the Phillies, like, there's something to be said about teams who are coming up, like starting to like gauge upwards, but having early success can actually be worse than good. And I kind of take the Washington Commanders, right? They had success with Jaden Daniels last year. They went from being a team of, maybe we'll make the playoffs. Maybe we'll make some noise. Then they went to an NFC Championship game, and a lot of pressure to get back. Like, anything less would have been considered a failure. And I think that's been kind of going on with the Phillies. There's been a little hubris with them sitting there going, we're going to be there. We're going to be in the playoffs. And when we get to it, we'll turn it on. And that's what I saw during that Mets series 2 years ago. That's what I saw. That's what I felt like. This team was like, don't worry. Once we get there, then we'll start playing better.
They get tight, dude, and if they're not, when they're playing loose, they get tight, and like they swing. They don't see pitches well, which causes you to swing and not take pitches. But then if the pitcher thinks you're taking all these pitches, you just throw strikes down the middle too. Like that happened to them in one game. They tried to take pitches and they just throwing strikes. I don't know. It was super frustrating. I hope I can get excited. I was sure they were going to sign Bader after the other thing didn't work out.
I really thought so too. I thought like, all right,
and then I'd be like,
Bader. People like Bader.
Juice. It would have been juice. There would be some juice to it. And now there's like unless Kyle Schwarber plays clean up all year long, like if they come out game one with Bowman clean up, I'm going to be so – and he could have the greatest game ever, but he's not going to get me 20, 30 home runs, which he was supposed to be a 20 home run guy. And it's just going to be so annoying.
No, and that's my other thing is like, what are the odds that Schwarber has the kind of success he had last year again 2 years in a row? Like,
that's never going to happen. Like that will not happen. Like it's not going to happen. And then people are going to be like, oh, wasted of money. And then it's like, no, guys, like that never was going to happen. It was never going to happen again. The only thing is he doesn't play the field. So maybe he has, in the bat speed, he has changed himself very much. Like he's improved keeps continuously getting better and better. So as long as that's the case, maybe he keeps that standard up. But
all right. Well, the one last question I have here so we can close up shop tonight, Freddie Burns. Since I'm not going to have you on next week, what is your outlook for the Super Bowl? Who's your Super Bowl winner? Where are you laying your shillings down on for the big game, Super Bowl Sunday?
Shillings. So I have already a vested interest. So I'm in this fantasy pool with I don't even know how many people. There's like popular people in there. Like Devin Caney's in there. They're like, I didn't even know this. Like all these names are in there. And I'm like, I am right now 6th out of 500 people in this fantasy thing.
Oh, wow.
And it basically you pick 18 guys in the beginning of the playoffs, but you can only pick one from each team. So as that team gets eliminated, that player's gone. So you got to be strategic. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm 6th and I have Drake May going still because I picked him as the quarterback. And then I have Jackson Smith and Jigba. So that's kind of what my focus is going to be on. But as far as who's going to win, I hate to say it, and everyone keeps saying what Mike's saying, and it ain't going to happen. The Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl, and Dalton will become unglued because Vrabel is going to have him. He's going to be prepared for it. He's going to take away their strength, and it's going to be a close game. It'll definitely be close. But I definitely don't think it's going to be a rout, and I think the Patriots win the Super Bowl.
I don't know, man. It's hard for me to really believe that. I really kind of liken the Seahawks to last year Eagles, a team that had really good success and continued rolling. Everybody just kept waiting for the shoe to drop, and then They're going to go up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh no, they're not. We all know how this plays out. I kind of see the Seahawks the same kind of way of having success, really good defense, a really damn good defense.
They're 4.5 point favorites though, Al. It ain't.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, New England also has a really good defense too. But they also struggled against the Denver Broncos that was led by Stidham, who hadn't played football in 2 years for the NFL.
What was the score? 13-10.
Yeah, and I know the weather played a big factor, but I think you
struggled against. They gave up 13 points, and they struggled against Garrett Stidham.
Yeah, they did. They struggled to score also against the Broncos defense. I think Seahawks are damn good.
Oh, that's different. That's different. I agree with that. They didn't struggle.
Drake May had 32 yards the entire game. Like I don't.
He did something our quarterback didn't. Put the legs going. He had 75 yards rushing and a touchdown rushing. Now, I'm not going to say he didn't struggle against good D. I agree with that.
I think
they did not struggle against Garrett Stidham.
I think the Seahawks are looking past it. I don't know if you saw the news, but the Seahawks said they're going to be put up for sale after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, we talked about that before the show. I think maybe. Yeah.
They're talking upwards of $7 to $8 billion, setting some sort of record for the sale of the Seattle Seahawks. And talk about you win the Super Bowl. Just what a great time to sell! Like that's crazy.
Cashing out. Yeah. Also, dude, to that comparison, like the Eagles had experience. They had just lost in 2022. Like the Seahawks don't have any experience in this deal. And you got Vrabel and
Vrabel's a good coach. I like
Vrabel, and then Jesus Christ, why am I missing names so much? I'm rusty, I guess. The offensive coordinator for the Patriots has Josh McDaniel. Josh McDaniel.
Yeah.
So like they have a ton of experience too, and been in this situation. So like they know exactly what to do and how to prepare these guys. And I just think like I'm seeing a lot of what Mike said. Seahawks route, and I don't see it. I
don't know. It's going to be a routing, but I just think I don't think it's going to be like where the Eagles just dominated the Chiefs type win. But I think it's going to be a team that people keep looking past and just go out and surprise everybody. And Sam Darnold, I kind of I really thought that shoe was going to drop and those ghosts were going to hunt him, and he just hasn't allowed that to happen. And it's probably because he's playing relaxed football, because his defense is playing well, his offense is playing well, he's playing well. It's like that's the thing is like how a team plays when everything's clicking, when like we were talking about earlier with Nick Sirianni, people were getting the team was getting annoyed with some of his antics. Well, it's okay when you're winning. It's not okay when you're losing. And I think that's kind of how the Seahawks are playing right now. Everybody's winning and they're feeling confident and they're playing well. And I just really think the Seahawks will. And like I said, they'll be selling. But the only other thing I've been keeping my eye on Twitter here, and I'm not going to get political or anything, but apparently the co-owner of the Giants has been brought up in the latest Epstein files. So there's a little bit more Giants drama for you to go.
So is Josh Harris. I didn't bring it up earlier.
Yeah. Hey.
So he might be selling too.
Yeah.
One question I do have for you. Even if he doesn't, I guess you could ask this, because he did have a very good year last year, Sam Darnold, and excellent quarterback play. If he wins the Super Bowl, who's a better quarterback, Sam Darnold or Jalen Hurts?
Last year,
the quarterback play was not good this year.
No, quarterback play was not good, and nobody's going to say. If anybody sits there and tries to tell you otherwise, they'd be ridiculous. Offense struggled on all aspects, from quarterback play to offensive line to drop balls, all those things that didn't help anybody. But it's if he wins, it's a good question, because last year I would have said, well, Sam Darnold was really good, but when it came time to actually win the important games, he fell short. Now that if he gets that monkey off his back, he might be hard to not say.
Mighty accurate. He's mighty accurate.
Yeah, so that it's gonna be hard to say otherwise. But I mean, everybody isn't this not the NFL or sports, professional sports in a nutshell? Like he gets drafted in a huge quarterback draft class with Josh Allen and the great Lamar Jackson, and who else was in that draft? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. But and he's the first one to even sniff a Super Bowl and possibly could win one.
I could have been more wrong about that draft class. Who's the guy I like? The one that went to the Cardinals.
Oh, he's not even in the league anymore, is he?
He's not. He was in that class.
Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Rosen? No, not Josh.
Yeah, Josh Rosen. Yep.
Josh Rosen. All right.
Yep, Rosen.
But yeah, everybody thought he was the next king of Sting, and they.
Oh, I don't think everyone did, but I just missed. I thought, I didn't even.
Now you're taking it, Rosen. Okay. Harrison needs to go. Yeah, well.
I mean, I don't feel like defending him, but like,
no.
Do you guys remember Harold Katz? Like, Josh Harris spends money. He may make the wrong moves, but we could have way worse owners than Josh Harris.
Oh yeah, Baker. Baker was in this too.
Baker. That's it. Yep. Yeah. Another one that I thought I was so well. Actually, he did start to suck.
I kind of knew he wasn't going to do well because once he went to Cleveland, I'm like,
I just thought he was overrated. When he got picked apart by that Georgia D in the bowl game, which is the closest thing to the pros, I'm like, oh boy, this guy, he ain't gonna make it in the pros. But I don't know. He had a good start to this year and a year before, but outside of that, his career.
Well, like when he moved on from Cleveland, when they traded him, he went to Tampa. Like he keeps having this success, this early success. Tampa comes out and it's like 4-0.
Well, hold on, that was he went to Carolina too. And then if he didn't play in that for the Rams off the street on that Thursday night game and bring the Rams back, he may have never gotten an opportunity ever again. He came in for Stafford and brought them back. And then the next year he was with the Rams or with the Bucks.
Yep. So Fred, before we go, people wanted to, talk to you on social media and talk sports with you. What would be the best place for them to find you?
Facebook, probably. Yeah, Freddie Burns. Facebook.
You're not on Twitter much anymore.
I haven't tweeted, and
you have an X.
I don't even know. I have an X to tweeted, and I don't even know.
Well,
you'll be pretty shocked by this. I am coming up on February 10th. 1 year, no alcohol.
Really? Yep. Is that your birthday?
I turned 40, celebrated the Eagles Super Bowl, woke up, and I was like, my brother even had a surprise birthday bus thing a week and a half later. I made him cancel the whole thing.
Really?
I felt really bad about it. I don't say it like in that manner. But
no, but hey, good for you, man.
No Twitter and no that. And February 10th, I'm getting rid of a smartphone. I'm going back to a flip phone.
Yeah, calm down there, Matty B. You need a 6.
I would maybe when my kids are older, but I just don't. I wouldn't want to do. I don't know. I'll talk about the Sixers, but I don't.
Yeah, listen. Maybe we'll have
to commit to that. Is I would drop the ball.
Maybe
I'd be irritable the whole time because I'd be not wanting to do it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll have Fred come on.
I appreciate you asking me.
Future. Yeah. No, it'd be fun to have you in the future, not in any certain time, maybe sometime after the Super Bowl, maybe Phillies start in March. And maybe, you know what? I would like to have you for free agency to actually talk for that one time. So let's talk like maybe in March to get you on and talk a little Eagles free agency and look towards the draft.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Other than that, remember the It's a Wrap Sports Network had plenty for you to check out here. Tomorrow you have the best of the It's a Wrap Sports week that you might have missed. Flyers versus Kings post game. Philly AM Sports with me and Mike Lauro at 9 a.m. on Sunday. Yeah, we're in February 1st. And the final word with Matty B. Other than that, guys, I want to thank Freddie Burns for joining me tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining in with us tonight. We'll have more guests, more fun, and more other things coming up here in the future. But other than that, guys, stay warm. I know I love when I woke up.
What's a dork? Why do you say that? I hate people that say that. Stay warm.
Well, I'm just saying.
Warm.
I love
how. Of course, I'm going to freaking stay warm, dude. What are we going to stay cold? Hey, make sure you stay warm out there. What am I going to do?
You know what? Everybody stay warm. Freddie, go freeze your ass off somewhere else. Other than that, guys, I'll catch you next time.